What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Listen, man, it's day 4 in the Diddy trial, and Cassie is still on the stand. She's being asked questions by the defense, man, Diddy Combs' lawyers. And I must say, like, a lot of the questions they was not the questions they was asking Cassie, man, it seemed like they was trying to make it seem like, okay, man, y'all was in love, y'all fought, y'all did these freak offs, took a lot of drugs, you know what I'm saying, break up, come back together, and the days before, the prosecutor was really showing that, listen, man, this guy sex trafficked Cassie, getting escorts to come from other cities to come to where they was vacation at, you know what I'm saying, and kind of not forced, but kind of forcing Cassie to do stuff, and Diddy Combs is an abusive guy. And I must say, after seeing that video and hearing Cassie testimony, man, like, Diddy is a horrible, horrible person. You know what I'm saying? But he's not on trial for domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? Is racketeering, sex trafficking, and something else or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, can they really prove that? But today, man, it wasn't wow. You know what I'm saying? The testimony was like kind of, I guess it was kind of boring a little bit. But then again, it's like the defense really trying to show that it was just a domestic violence love fest they had going on. You know what I mean? But let's look at the, I guess, basically the summary of most of the questions they asked today. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at that right quick. So this is basically a summary of not most, but like almost the main questions of what they were asking Cassie and how she answered. So court finished today, you know what I mean? So first they'll kind of crossing examination. So, okay, here's go. Combs defense lawyer, Anna, I might get her name wrong. Estevio, I don't want to say her name, I might get it wrong. But Combs defense lawyer, Anna, began with questioning about their relationship, asking Cassie if she loved the rapper and if she knew a version of him to the public. The public didn't know, to which she said yes. And the text messages between the couple, who were together for around 11 years from 2007, were the focus of much of the hearing today. It's basically about all the text messages, some of the pictures and stuff. You know what I mean? Combs called her baby girl, and he said, "I love you so much, it makes me cry," in messages from 2009. While Cassie said, "I love you so much, I can't wait till we don't care anymore." Questions then turned to the freak-offs. We have heard so much about at the trial so far, sessions during which Diddy paid escorts to have sex with Cassie while he watched, which is weird. Sexual explicit messages showed their expressed enthusiasm about the freak-offs she alleged she was forced into. Can't wait, Cassie said in one text message, talking about taking part in a freak off in another message. Combs told her he was horny, and she replied, "OMG, I was just about to text you the same thing." I mean, that's typical in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? One party texts about something, other parties text about the same thing. They're in a relationship, so of course they're gonna have sex and stuff like that, But in later message, she said a freak off hand made her feel grimy and dirty. Diddy lawyers painted his sexual preference as part of a swingers lifestyle that has been mentioned previously at trial, saying people might not agree with it, but it does not make him guilty of sex trafficking. And that's true. That's very true. That, the pictures that they mainly pointed out is that, man, Diddy's a whole freak out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is really a freak, and he enjoyed watching Cassie sleep with other men, do drugs and stuff like that. The next thing you know, the guy that Cassie was messing with, unprotected, would, put semen in her, and I guess she'd take it out or whatever, and she would put the semen on Diddy's nipples. Like, that's just nasty and just weird as heck. You know what I mean? But that's what he into. That's what he was into, and that's the type of fun freak off shit they did. You know what I'm saying? So, what else? Cassie relationship with Kid Cudi and Diddy with Kim Porter, the late mother of his 4 children, were discussed, with Cassie admitting she was jealous of Kim. So Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend, and they got about 3 kids. Since she passed away a few years ago. I think they said pneumonia, if I'm not mistaken. And Kid Cudi is, like I said in one of my videos, he's a rapper slash pop star. Kid Cudi and Cassie kind of dated, maybe like a few months. So I guess that's when they talk about Kid Cudi, and allegedly Diddy ended up blowing up Kid Cudi car. It did blow up, but they don't know who really did it. But a lot of people allegedly saying Diddy did it out of jealousy. It's crazy. So Cassie alleged Diddy was addicted to opioids and used ecstasy, MDMA, and cocaine, and recalled a occasion where he overdosed on opioids at the Playboy Mansion. Wow. Like I say, they've been taking a lot of drugs, man, a lot of drugs, and he overdosed one time, which is crazy. The witness also told the court there were never any drugs in the baby oil. In the baby oil they used doing freak offs after Combs was accused in the lawsuit last year of spiking the lubricant with GHB. Away from the question, another moment when the judge became frustrated with these lawyers over how long they will cross-examine Cassie, saying they should get a day and a half to question her at the same time the prosecution had. In what universe did you not understand this what was going to happen? Now, don't get me wrong, like Cassie is like, she's like 8 months pregnant, you know what I mean? And the prosecutor's kind of saying that she might have the baby the weekend, and they kind of like, I don't want to say like playing tricks, but she is pregnant and she might do have the baby. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She's 8 months pregnant, but then again, it's like, I understand the defense. They don't really want to rush this case. You know what I'm saying? Because Cassie is, I don't think she's the main witness, but she's basically like the main witness. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing. So the defense really trying to buckle down and really ask her so many questions to really debunk a lot of this sex trafficking and racketeering stuff that the prosecutor is really trying to put on Diddy. You know what I mean? So I can definitely understand the defense really trying to take their time, because today starting now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was slow. It was slow, but then again, it's like they were trying to debunk a lot of that stuff and put holes in her testimony. You know what I mean? But let's get some reaction for a couple of people that was inside the courtroom, and also a news clip. So this lady right here, man, she was in court today, and I think she's gonna be in court every day. And I saw her on Twitter, and I like her takes that she be giving. Let's listen to her right quick.
Lunchtime update. Cassie on the stand, her first day of cross-examination, and I don't want to say it's super intense, because Diddy's lawyer, Anna Estevea, she's doing an amazing job at being very gentle. I mean, Cassie and her have exchanged a few laughs while she was on the stand, which I thought was pretty incredible. And additionally, there's a lot of explicit graphic text that we're seeing from Cassie to Diddy and vice versa. And Estevea is saying, look, if you don't want to read these, you don't have to, which I thought was really nice. Also, when Cassie answers and it's kind of a yes or no question, Estevea isn't like, it's yes or no. She's being very, very calm and very kind. Now, what we saw, like right off the bat.
I mean, of course, that's what I said one of my videos, that I don't think they should have had a man cross-examine Cassie. You know what I'm saying? She's pregnant. She's on the stand. The jury is seeing that right there. A man really pressing her while she's pregnant. That's going to really look bad. You know what I'm saying? Even though they really got to get to the bottom of everything, because Diddy's might go to jail for life. So they got to do what they got to do. So I kind of understand. But then again, it's like, nah, man, you got to put this woman, let this woman cross-examine her, you know?
Here was a conversation via BlackBerry between Diddy and Cassie about 2.5 years into their relationship. And remember, at this point, Cassie testified during direct that he had abused her. She didn't want to do freak offs, you know, all this stuff. And she actually said that he said, you know, I miss you already. When do you want to FO? That was Diddy. And she said, I'm always ready to FO. And again, this was August of 2009, about 2 years into their relationship. They talk about.
So that FO mean freak off. That mean Cassie says she's always down to do the freak offs. You know what I mean? So that right there is telling me, listen, she wasn't really forced. She really enjoyed it. She was always looking forward to doing it. You know what I'm saying? 2 years in the relationship, you know? So, listen, the whole freak off was crazy and weird, but then again, that is showing me that she was up to it. You know what I'm saying? She was a participant. She wasn't coerced. She wasn't forced. You know.
When it would be best for them, and then they talk about getting an escort involved, and then we see a text message that says, I can't wait to stare at your BBD. You guys know what I'm talking about. And again, lawyer did not make her say it out loud. There's a lot of explicit text.
BBD is a male's penis, black male
messages. And look, I think some of the takeaways here at what the defense is doing and what they're eliciting out of Cassie is, again, the email saying she loves him after these FOs. And don't get mad at me. Don't tell me, I understand how trauma works, but I'm just relaying all this to you guys. So Cassie testified that she had to do freak offs during her period. And we were shown an email where Diddy, for FO planning purposes, asks her when she's getting her period. And she says she's skipping it that month. Additionally, she testified that she didn't want to be a swinger because she didn't want to see him with another woman. Well, we see an exchange where she says she has a fantasy about seeing him with another woman. And I'm paraphrasing here. She also says at one point that, quote, she'd travel anywhere to be with him. And this is while they are discussing an FO in this one message, this BlackBerry message. Another big thing here is the drug talk and the opioid talk. So Cassie testified that Diddy told her he was addicted to opioids. And the defense is basically saying, well, did you see him try to get off these opioids or come down from them? And she said, yeah. And then they said, well, that makes one volatile, angry. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but basically what they were alluding to is that Diddy's violent behavior and aggressive behavior and all of his mood swings that she talked about were because he was coming down from opioids. Let me make sure. I feel like I have so many notes from today. Again, a lot of graphic messages, mainly about Cassie saying how much she liked it after it happened. It was so good. And she's talking about FOs. Oh, something really big that they're trying to prove here. Cassie felt like she didn't have the words to relate to Diddy because she was so young that she didn't want to do this and yada, yada, referring to the FOs. Well, we've seen a lot of messages from Cassie to Diddy that are paragraphs, let's say, explaining certain things to him, really seeming to wear her heart on her sleeve. At one point she said, look, I'm unsure about the FOs because I feel like, before when we were doing them, and this is a few years into their relationship, she said, before we were doing them, I could spend time with you after. Now we're doing them and you're leaving right away for work and I'm not getting that time with you. So the defense is kind of like, well, it looks like she's able to communicate this stuff. And is it fair to say that this is the reason that you didn't want to do freak offs? Not everything that you testified yesterday. Again, don't get mad at me. I'm just explaining about what the defense's strategy seems to be and what they're going for. They also went into the fact that, look, you testified that it would take you days to come down from these FOs and you would waste so much time of your life trying to recover. Diddy was doing the same thing. He was coming down from these too. Is it fair to say that he was still running a business, running running his own life, running Bad Boy Records and traveling here and there, basically saying, well, he was fine. He didn't have to recover for days. That's your problem. Again, just some observations. Cassie doing a great job holding it together, so calm, so poised. And Anna Estevea, really great. I mean, a lot of defense attorneys can badger these witnesses and really come across unlikable to the jury. But like I said, they're sharing laughs. They, she's not too aggressive. She's getting her point across without being a jerk. So I will give you guys more later. And I mean, you're probably going to see it printed on TMZ everywhere else, but these text messages are so graphic. And I just feel so bad for Cassie because she was so young, and to have her sex life just plastered, on these big screens and of course across the media world, crazy. Oh, we also saw this morning in line, we saw her brother walk in. Her husband is not in the courtroom because he can't be, because he may be called as a witness and they're getting into some things that he shouldn't hear. But he was here yesterday. But anyway.
So listen, man, she was young at the time when that was going on. I think her and Diddy really got together. after she was dating Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie's like a R&B singer. They was dating a little bit. Then next thing you know, she got with Diddy. I think she was like 21, 22 when she got with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? That's when all this stuff came about. You know, it is like she said. It is kind of crazy that, you know what I'm saying, you old enough now, but then again, it's like your sex life and all the exquisite pictures and stuff. A lot of we not seeing it, but man, online. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. It's sad also. You know, this whole situation. But then again, it's like you understand, so you gotta tell your truth. You gotta tell your truth. You gotta tell everything. You know what I'm saying? What happened? What didn't happen? You know what I mean? Was you really forcing all this stuff, that what was going on that you said in the first 2 days? You know what I'm saying? Like, was he really forcing you, you know, to do all this stuff? You didn't want to do it. Why you just didn't leave? Why you didn't say, you know what, I'm out of here? You know, because Diddy still was messing with other women also, and Cassie was like messing with other guys too. But while Cassie was messing with other guys, she ended up still messing with Diddy at the same time. So I don't know, man. It's conflicting. You know what I'm saying? It's conflicting. But let's play a news clip right quick.
Focusing back now on our breaking coverage of Sean Diddy Combs' racketeering and sex trafficking trial in New York. Right now, the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, is back on the stand under cross-examination. And moments ago, the judge just weighed in on timing, telling the defense they have until tomorrow's lunch break to continue questioning her, adding that anything after that would be up to his discretion.
Combs' defense has been trying to challenge roughly 9 hours of direct testimony that Ventura has already given. She has told jurors that Combs allegedly abused her. And she said that over their 11-year relationship, she felt threatened at times to perform sexual acts with him. With us now is attorney and legal affairs commentator Ariva Martin. Ariva, what is your reaction to how the defense is approaching this so far?
So, Brianna, we expected this. We know from the opening statement from the defense, a big part of their case is trying to get this jury to believe that Cassie Ventura was a consenting adult in these sexual acts, these freak-offs that we've heard so much about during her direct testimony. So a lot of what the defense has been doing today during this cross-examination is showing text messages and getting Cassie Ventura to acknowledge that, according to these text messages, she was a willing participant in some of these freak-offs. But one of the things that we haven't done or haven't heard yet, Brianna, is the connection between those text messages in the early stages of the relationship and the violence that we heard so much about during the direct testimony yesterday. And I think when the prosecution gets to redirect, we're going to see them try to link the violence that happened later in the relationship to her participation and make the argument still that she was being coerced into these commercial sex acts with escorts, despite how she may have felt about Sean Diddy Combs in the beginning of their relationship.
And Ariva, what do you make of the judge here weighing in on the timing? Because the defense, as our recent reporting indicated, had wanted to go at least through the end of tomorrow evening. I wonder if you think the judge is going to press for them to speed things up here, and that might affect their strategy.
Absolutely, Boris. The judge has said from the beginning of this trial that it was going to be an efficient trial, and he was going to do his best to keep it around 6 to 8 weeks. He has said he'll give the defense until tomorrow afternoon with their cross-examination, and any time after that will be at his discretion. Oftentimes, these examinations, Boris, start to become repetitive, and the judge is going to assess whether tomorrow afternoon, if he believes the questioning is indeed repetitive, if he believes enough information, or if the defense has been given ample time to make their case. So it's always that balance between giving each party, each side, an opportunity to make their case, but at the same time, keeping the trial moving so that jurors, that's the big issue here, is keeping these jurors engaged.
For what reason would the judge grant going beyond lunchtime tomorrow?
I think, Brianna, if he believes that the defense has new material, if there are questions that have not been asked before today or tomorrow morning, if the judge believes that the defense makes a credible argument as to why they need more time. Judges are often persuaded by arguments from the lawyers that there's a particular area of questioning that they want to go into that they haven't gone into before. and that is essential to them making their case.
Yeah, man. So like I said, the judge is like, listen, ask all your questions, but we got to get up out of here. You know what I mean? Like, we trying to end this in 6 to 8 weeks. But then again, like I said earlier, it's like the defense really don't really want to rush this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, like, if they do end tomorrow and there'd be questions coming out the courtroom or whatever from people that was inside the courtroom and news blogs or whatever, might end up saying, okay, if they was rushed to really ask Cassie a lot of questions from the judge, like, I'm thinking, like, will it be like a mistrial, or if he do end up being found guilty, like, will it be an appeal? I don't know. That's what I think, man. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, am I wrong for thinking that? Will it might be a mistrial or an appeal? Because if they rush this, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, Cassie's like the main witness, but then again, it's like so many other witnesses. Like another witness coming out tomorrow, Dawn Richards. She's a former singer from Bad Boy Records. You know what I mean? So I don't know. This whole situation is crazy. But again, man, right now, from 4 days in, you know, we still had the question, like, besides Diddy being an abusive guy, a drug addict, you know what I'm saying, him and Cassie took drugs all the time, having all these freak off and stuff, you know what I'm saying, abusing her and stuff, and just also, you know, well, other places they go to, they do be having escorts come there, but then again, it's like, did they pay the escorts travel to come there, or they just pay the escort when he come there on his own travel, his own money? Like, did they pay for his travel? Meaning, like, if they pay for his travel, then maybe that could be sex trafficking. But if the escort just paid for his own travel, and when he got there, then they paid him just after sex or whatever, I don't think that's sex trafficking. You know what I mean? I think they just paid him for a service. I don't know. I can be wrong, but y'all tell me what y'all think. But right now, man, you know, day 5 is tomorrow, and we're gonna see how that really go. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, man. Y'all tell me y'all think about this whole situation, yo. 4 days in, do y'all think Diddy's guilty, like on all the charges? Y'all think he's guilty, or he still might have a chance? Let me know in the comments.